being recorded today. 100% for sure. It shall be recorded. Let me just start sharing my screen. Nivedita, can you help me pull up those links to the Indian Ocean Hackathon as well? So I think I want to put that in the chat so folks can understand.
Cool, I'll do that.
Thank you. Okay, just getting folks in. All right, so today we'll not take that much time. I think it's a weekend, so I don't want to take too much of your time. So I want to try to wrap up today in 30 to 40 minutes and leave some room for discussion, questions, and just in general, like if you're stuck somewhere or if there is something that you have on your mind and you want to discuss, so we can keep it open. But given that sometimes I chatter on a lot, it might go on until the end as well. But let's see. So for today's session, we are going to have three parts. One is a small introduction to Ocean Protocol, not just because we are grant funded by them, but also because they are a very up and coming, technology, a very up and coming, different way of doing things in Web3. So I would definitely like you all to take this opportunity to explore this protocol if you have the bandwidth to do so. Opportunities to explore in Web3, what can you do and how can you get started, right? So, before we start, just want to remind you that we have a 200 ocean bounty by the Indian Ocean Outreach, exclusive to our guild members. So we have already received the first blog post by Namya yesterday describing Web3. So you can write a blog post describing your learnings in Web3, or you can write a blog post talking about perhaps one of the sessions that you have attended. The bounty is going to be open until end of the month, and we'll reward the top 3 submissions. Yay. Okay, so a quick introduction to Ocean Protocol will take 5 to 10 minutes. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with the importance of data in today's world. Wherever we see, right, for organizations to cut costs, for folks to acquire more customers, if you want to save time and get insights, if you want to create marketing plans specific, tailored to your particular user base, tailored to a particular set of audience. So for marketing insights, we have social media listening. Of course, this is becoming more and more and more important as we are living in a virtual world, right? So innovation, right? Of course, trying to find insights on what is happening, right? Even small things from our that we do in our day-to-day lives to things like crypto investment, trading, etc. Everywhere we are getting lots and lots of data, right? Now I would say some of the issues or challenges that are there in the current ecosystem is that data as a liability. What does this mean? Though there is a lot of data, right? Many of the organizations, or in fact smaller organizations, bigger enterprises, they don't know how to use the data in a compliant manner, right? So they run into a lot of issues. So even if you have terabytes of data, you are not sure how to use that data in a compliant manner, because there are regulations that vary from one place to another. There could be some part of the data which is private, some is public, right? So people exactly don't know how to use the data, so it sometimes becomes a liability. The second thing is data as a locked good, right? So what does this mean? This means that sometimes not everybody has access to so there are two ways to this. One is not everybody has access to all the data, right? So sometimes important data that we require may not be easily accessible to us. And second is, if we want to actually run the algorithms on data and get some insights out of it, it is extremely difficult unless and until we unlock the data, unless and until the data is made public to us, right? Unless and until the data is available, we can't run the algorithms on top of this data. So definitely this is an issue. And the last but not the least, and a very, very important issue that we are facing today, is enhancing data with the help of community, right? So this could be as simple as some statistics like how much does an average Indian order take out, right? This could be a statistic. And without actually community participating in this surveys, in this kind of data collection, we will never get an accurate statistic out of this, right? So it is very difficult for the community to participate. Why? Because users think that the moment they give out their personal information, right, it is going to be taken and sold somewhere else, right? So users don't have ownership of the data, right? This might seem like something very trivial as of now, but imagine going forward when we are going to use like lots and lots of terabytes of data, and data is going to be in circulation everywhere. Some of these issues will become very, very prominent as we go forward, right? And so this is where the concept of decentralized data marketplace comes into picture. Okay, so as the name says, a decentralized data marketplace is going to change the way data is being sold and data is being received in a particular marketplace, right? When we think of a marketplace, don't think of it as a specific website. Whenever you're going somewhere and reading some kind of statistics, that's also a marketplace. Whenever you're trying to get data, download some data set or download some data from somewhere just to take a look at it, that's also a marketplace, right? So a marketplace is nothing but when somebody is providing information, there is a provider and there is a consumer who's consuming this information, right? So this is a simple data marketplace. Now decentralized marketplace is a concept where the control of the data is completely in the hands of the user, right? So the user knows what kind of data, the user knows how much data they can expose. The user has the ability to play around with the data, and the user has the ability to claim ownership of the data, right? Now there are a lot of companies who provide data service. For example, there are companies that provide data on what was the attrition rate per month in a particular organization, xyz, abc, etc., right? So now the data ownership is moved from these companies to the users, right? And users provide access to their data while keeping full ownership. So we are going to be using blockchain or the web3 technology to ensure that the ownership of the data still remains with the person who has worked on their data, right? And but they can provide access to the others who want to consume that data. Now this is where and the advantages of this are many, as you will realize slowly. But one of the major advantages is that it opens up opportunities for the different communities that are there to control the data that they have without worrying about losing ownership and privacy, right? So you can control to what extent you want to share and to what extent you don't want to share anymore, right? So you can have control over the privacy of the data. And additionally, for the individuals, you can also, as an individual, suppose you have done some research, you have some data, right? You can also get visibility on how your data is being accessed and by being used by the different applications that have requested to consume your data, right? So the moment you feel like your data is being misused or it's not being used in the form that you would like or you prefer, you can immediately stop providing your services to them. So this is the idea of creating a decentralized marketplace. Now that's where Ocean Protocol comes into picture. So Ocean Protocol uses blockchain technology or the power of Web3 to create a decentralized data marketplace. This decentralized data marketplace is built on top of this protocol called Ocean Protocol, where market signals, so things like market signals are incentivized. What are market signals? This is basically providing data, right? So if you are working on some significant research, or you are working on just collecting some kind of data, right, you can be incentivized to provide that data on Ocean Protocol. and the more users consume your data, the more incentivization you will get, right? Another thing that they're doing, which is very cool, which I found very cool and I'm interested to explore, is that so we search for data sets to kind of apply different algorithms on that, right? So a user who has an algorithm can apply the algorithm on a data set. The data set would still be kept private, and the results of that algorithm will be given to that the user who has provided the algorithm, right? So they don't necessarily need to gain exposure to the entire data. So things like this are very cool. And why I wanted to introduce Ocean Protocol to this audience is primarily because the way we see innovation happening in Web3, right? We started with like simple decentralized applications. Now, most of the applications connect to a Web3 wallet, right? Instead of your Google or your traditional login, now you log in using your Web3 wallets, right? And now the next era of innovation is going to come at the intersection of AI, data science, and Web3. So this is, if you are interested in it, is something that you would like to explore, you definitely have a really good chance of being the first movers and shakers in this domain, right? So I would also share some more opportunities that are there by Ocean Protocol, but if you are interested, you can definitely explore this marketplace. To be honest, I'm also going to start exploring the marketplace starting next week, so I'm happy to like pair and kind of do a group study interested. Now coming to the main thing, right? What we use to attract people to today's call, but also something that I strongly feel needs to be shared with the community, in terms of what are the different opportunities that are there in the Web3 space that you can leverage, right? um, so to start with, I'll just give you an idea of like what are the overall kind of overarching elements. So there are different terminologies that you will come across. Let me just, okay, please let me mute. So so there are different terminologies you will come across when you try to explore for things to do in the Web3 space, right? Here are some of the popular things that are happening, but of course, there could be other terminologies, other synonyms to these words. But more or less, this is the category in which you can explore opportunities. I will talk about each of these opportunities in depth, right? But these are just these are some things that you should always look out for: ambassador programs, different Web3 projects, bounties, the different grants by organizations, hackathons that are happening, right? Uh, Now, okay, all right. So first thing, and I'm going to start with like things which are very low hanging, like which you can start attempting right away, and then slowly increasing in difficulty level. But of course, all of which you can easily attempt, right? So the first thing that I want to talk about are bounties, right? Bounties could be of two types. One is very simple tasks which do not require much of your time, right? It could be related to design, just designing a new logo, designing some kind of t-shirts. So primarily from a UI UX perspective. It could be from a development perspective where you are required to build some small plugins, write a piece of code, or attempt to solve a small problem, right? Now, of course, the development tasks, even if they are simple, they might be slightly more time consuming because you need to really sit and think about the logic and stuff. Whereas the other bounties, like your social media, your fun tasks, like there are bounties for creating memes, right? There are content based tasks, and there are scholarship application bounties, right? So all of these generally do not require much of your time, and you should be able to do them in a very short period of time. And these do not require you to have extensive knowledge of Web3, right? So this is a good place for you to get started. And this is really going to be a very you can start with like something very basic and then start going for the bigger bounties. So this app, that is the layer 3 app, generally has a lot of bounties that you can look at. This could be, for example, there is a Jedi swap. So this is a new bounty, and you don't have to know anything about Jedi swap to actually get started with this. There could be some very very basic bounties, like there's one which is a memes competition, right? So you earn $50 if you build a meme. Now obviously now you need to know about Jedi swap because it asks you to build a meme. So but they have given you some links, like some reference links will be there which you can read about, and even just use, like, this simple description that they have given, right? And they have mentioned that using the Star Wars theme, while highlighting some advantages of Jedi swap, right? So you need to know what is Jedi swap and just read about it a little bit, and you can straight away start attempting these bounties, right? So this is what I was saying by very simple tasks, very low level, and you can start doing them right away. Now there are other type of bounties too, which are like deep tech bounties, right? Now these kind of bounties are slightly more expensive, as in they would give you, you can earn more money through these bounties, but they also require you to have an in-depth understanding of the protocol. So for example, there are always bounties on this website called ImmuneFi, right? So ImmuneFi has a bunch of bounties on different protocols, but these are deep tech bounties. So you can see that they have bounties up to, I don't even know how much this is, 2 million, $2 million, right? And are very specific bounties called bug bounties. So almost all of the protocols, so there are over 100 bug bounties that are available as of now. One you can see is this one, 2 million, and all of them are very high price bug bounties. So you have to have some technical knowledge, and you can see like there are different types of bounties for critical. If you find a critical bug, you'll get 2 million. If it's a high level bug, 75K, medium, low level bug, right, you'll get $1,000. So these are a couple of things. Once you are more comfortable with the code, once you are more comfortable with the technology side of things, you can pair with somebody who's familiar with the smart contract, and or pair with folks who are from security background, and start attempting these bug bounties, right? Most of these bug bounties are open ended, they do not have any timeline, right? However, they do need things like, you need to actually discover a bug that wasn't discovered earlier. So if you read through this, you will understand a little more about these. And these are really good way to explore the tech and explore the code base of a particular protocol, right? And I always suggest to do the bug bounties in group, so you can work together and go through the code step by step, right? So here are bounties, and there are lots of different places where you can find bounties. I will be sharing a couple of them on Telegram soon, right? Whatever I have come across, and I would say, like, don't wait to start working on these bounties. Just find somebody and be like, hey, you want to do this, find a weekend, find some spare time and start working on them. Now, the second thing that I want to talk about are called ambassador programs, right? So, ambassador programs, why I put them as second and not the first is, it's not a difficult task to get into an ambassador program. However, you need to show some amount of, you need to spare more amount of time in order to continue being an ambassador, right? So in ambassador programs, you can learn things about a particular protocol. When you become an ambassador of a particular protocol, you can learn things about that protocol, and you can also earn by performing different tasks for that particular protocol. So it could be small things like content creation. It could be things like from starting from small things like managing content creation, to big things like managing the community for that protocol, uh, being able to work on some dev related issues for that protocol. You could do anything as an ambassador, right? One of the things I highly recommend people to get into the ambassador program is because you will get to interact with the core people of that protocol, right? And you will get to learn so much about that protocol, as well as the overall Web3 Web3 umbrella, right? So here are a couple of ambassador programs that I know like straight on top of my mind. One is the Ocean Protocol Ambassadors Program, of course. In order to do this program, you need to finish an academy course on the Ocean website. Now, this academy course, however, is not that difficult. And also, there are some quiz questions in this academy course which you don't necessarily have to go through. So you can click on get started and just go through the course. It's slightly longer. It would require at least 2-3 days for you to go through the content, right? But once you have completed the content, you will be required to download a document called the pledge. That is basically you pledge to the you pledge to be mindful of the community and all the other things, right? Basically you are not doing this for fraudulent purposes. That's what the pledge is about. And then you can come here and you can I think there is a way to get the certificate at the end of the yeah, so you see the join the ecosystem ambassadors. So you will be able to there's a form that you need to fill, and then you will be able to become an ambassador. So it is quite straightforward, but it requires you to finish the course, right, on Ocean Academy. And why I am encouraging everyone, or rather pushing everyone to join this ambassador program, is because Ocean Protocol is doing or bringing about a concept which is fairly new. So whenever there are protocols that are doing something which is new and revolutionary, if you are able to get into these ecosystems early on, right, you will be into a lot of profit going forward. And it's not just about from a money perspective, but about from a learning and a knowledge perspective, right? Because you are getting the ability to get into these programs right away, right from the beginning. You're helping them to build an ecosystem, right? And in this ambassador programs, it's not necessary that you have to do only tech tasks. You can do tasks like managing community, doing events, right? Outreach, going out to different dev communities or other communities, informing them about a particular protocol. You can do several things as a part of the ambassador program based on what your interests are, right? Another interesting ambassador program that is just about to restart is the Covalent Alchemist Ambassador Program. So Covalent Alchemist Ambassador Program is one of the best ambassador programs that I have seen. I'm a Covalent ambassador, and this year they are going to restart their ambassador program. So again, I would say this is one of the communities that I love. It's a vibrant community in Web3. They are appreciative of everybody, whether you are a beginner, whether you are a veteran, right? You are very much welcome into the community. And there, keep an eye on their program, because this is just about to restart now. So I would say, like, definitely keep an eye on what's happening. And I will also post details as and when the ambassador program kickstarts again for Covalent, right? So one of the best ways to try and get into a protocol, get into Web3, is to get into the ambassador programs of different protocols, right? Now the next slightly more difficult is going to be the grants, right? So as you can see, this is a slide that was pulled by the data was collected by one of my colleagues at Questbook. This is the grants program and the grant budget for various protocols for this year 2022. Okay, so you can see that almost all of the protocols have a heavy grant budget, right? Now, this grant budget is not just for development. I'm repeating this and emphasizing this, and I can't emphasize this enough, that this grant budget is not just for developing solutions. Much of this grant budget is available for building the ecosystem around this particular protocol, right? So if you're from marketing, if you're from communication, if you're from operations, if you're interested in community management, right, I would say just form a small group amongst yourselves and write a proposal, right? So now the thing about grants that can be daunting sometimes is that grants are not as straightforward as ambassador programs, or as straightforward as bounties, right? That you can just go and attempt them and then, show proof of work. Here you need to follow certain steps in order to apply for the grant, right? But and the steps for applying for the grant, the first step is creating a proposal, right? So creating a proposal involves you to have a clear idea on two things. One is, what would you be doing as a part of the grant? Second is, what will be the outcome of this grant that will help that particular protocol? So for example, our grant program, our grant that we got from Ocean Protocol, right? Our grant intended to increase the diversity and inclusion in the Web3 space, Web3 ecosystem, right? This was what we wanted to do. And we gave a clear milestone that we want to onboard 100 women onto Web3 as a part of our grant, right? And then we gave them, how are we going to do it? By doing sessions, by doing events, by collaborating with other women groups, right? So these are some things that, so what do you want to achieve and how would this benefit the protocol, right? Now, this is an umbrella statement, but obviously having diversity and inclusion in any ecosystem helps everyone, right? All the protocols. So that's the kind of impact that we want to create. But we also say that, okay, you know what, we will help spread the word about Ocean Protocol. We will let more women know that this protocol is something new and interesting. If you are interested and you are interested in exploring data related stuff, you can join this, right? So see, the thing is, even for us to fulfill this grant, we don't have to force Ocean Protocol on you, right? That's the way Web3 works. Most of the protocols, most of the communities are very open, right? They are ready to help you if you have a good idea and if you're genuinely interested in doing something, right? So you can easily create proposals which would reflect the work that is your skill set, right? If you are from a particular background and you want to continue that into Web3, you can create a proposal for asking for a grant that will utilize your skill set and help that protocol, right? So I have written a lot of proposals, so I'm happy to help folks to create proposals and then discuss ideas, right? And there are two ways you can go for grants. One is, suppose you have a new idea and you want to use one of these protocols to build that product, right? In this case, you will need to have somebody who is doing project management or product management. You will need developers, you will need community members and marketing folks. So you can form a small group, discuss the idea amongst yourself, and then go ahead and apply for that grant. And the second is, you feel like there are certain problems in this ecosystem. Like you may feel like the UI UX workflow is not proper, right? You may feel like some of the things, some documentation is not very clear or easy to understand, right? And you can propose that I, along with my friend or as an individual, I'm going to work on your documentation, right? I'm going to work on making it easy. Can you give me $1,000 grant to do this? Right? Can you give me a $5,000 grant to do this? So these are two ways you can approach grants, right? And trust me, there is lots and lots and lots of grant budgets. So I really encourage everyone to see, no idea is stupid, especially in Web3, right? Because we are starting from the scratch. Everybody is taking baby steps. So I encourage people to discuss their ideas and, discuss your ideas in the group. Find people who are interested in your idea, and then just get together and be like, hey, let's do this, let's apply for a grant and see what happens, right? Because grant is like trust money, right? They don't take equity from your company. They won't say that, okay, you need to have a company. You can just come together as a group and apply for a grant, right? So if you're interested, so these are the programs I've already shared with you. You will get more details about their specific grants, what they might be looking to invest in, give grants in certain domains, right? Some could be gaming, NFTs, social good, diversity. So you can just go and see what each of these protocols might be looking for. And if you feel like anything you are interested in, you can definitely, form a team and start working on it. Now, the next thing that I see very, very less participation in is hackathons, right? One of the why I put this more difficult than the grant actually is because hackathons are generally for shorter period of time. So if you feel like you don't know anything, and in this 2 days or 3 days or a week you're not able to build something significant, right? Then you may not join the hackathon. But actually, in Web3, that's not the case. That's the myth I want to bust. That in Web3, if you don't know anything, I would suggest just go and join a hackathon, right? Many of these hackathons, in fact, most of them are free. The first one that I have put up is the ETH Global Hackathon. Actually, this requires you to stake some amount of tokens. That could be a barrier to entry, but if you do have tokens, I definitely encourage you to apply. The ETH Denver hackathon is free for everybody. Actually, all the hackathons are free for everyone to attend, right? Even in this, if you stake the tokens, you will get back after the hackathon. So there are a couple of hackathons that are ongoing right now, all of these. And there are, so at any point in time in the Web3 ecosystem, trust me, there'll be at least 6 to 7 hackathons, or 10 sometimes, right? Will be ongoing parallelly. So right now there are 10 hackathons that are going. That's what I mean. So you have your pick. You can choose anything and you can just get into it, and you can introduce yourself as, I'm a beginner, I'm a newbie, and I want to join an experienced team. That's it, right? And you can say, what are your skill sets? What do you provide as a part of the hack? What would you provide as a part of the project? And people will be definitely more than happy to take you, right? So you need to take that initiative. So it's slightly difficult because it's not, there's no barrier to entry, but there is a fear to enter, thinking that what if you're not able to perform? What if you don't have those skill set? What if you're not a developer, right? Now, the good thing about hackathons is almost all the hackathons these days do not mandate that you need to be a developer. You can join a team where there's already a developer, and you can take up other tasks like product management, like checking in on them, providing help, doing research, providing resources, etc. Right? So these are a couple of hackathons that are going on. I will post the links to these in the Telegram group. Now, this I have put as the highest difficulty, that is projects, right? Now, once you have some experience in all of these, or you feel like you are there to, start taking up the projects, this would mean that you can start getting involved in a project or an idea, right? So if you have your own idea, you can apply for a grant. But if you want to join another project, this is where you can reach out to folks and say that here is my skill set. Like keep interacting with, you can see like different people will post for project requirements on Twitter, right? So the issue is there are lots and lots of requirements but not enough people, right? So you can say that this is my skill set, I'm happy to contribute, this is what I would like to do as a part of this project, and you have a discussion, have a call with them, and get started. Now the thing is, for many of us, like I know that we are juggling so many things sometimes, of course working from home, then you may have other commitments, other responsibilities, families and whatnot, but none of these projects will require you to work full time with them, right? Most of these projects will require you to dedicate a couple of hours in a week. So if you are afraid that the project will take up a lot of your time, you can start with a project which doesn't require you to put in too much effort, like so don't take up which are like too dev heavy or too community heavy, because then you'll always have to be online and keep doing stuff, right? So start with projects where you think you will be able to contribute as well as learn, and then slowly you can take up according to your interests and according to the time bandwidth that you have. You can take up more and more projects, but don't think of time as a barrier to entry to take up projects, right? I have seen this a lot of times that especially women, they feel like I don't even have enough time to do my day job. Do you think I can take up projects? I feel yes, you can. You just need to put in little more effort probably at the beginning, wherein you can spare some hours from your weekend or spare some hours during the evening post your day job, and then be able to and as you keep learning, the number of hours that you have to put in will reduce automatically, right? Because you have reached that amount of skill set. But I would say don't hesitate and don't stop yourself from taking that leap, right? And if you need any help, like I do a lot of projects, like I'm doing right now like 4 to 5 projects apart from my day job. I also have a full-time job, right? But obviously there are two things here. One is like I have a full support from my day job. My day job organization encourages me to explore and be creative. And the second thing is like my family, they are also quite supportive, right, of me to encourage and kind of explore what I want to do. So these are a couple of things that have helped me. Some of the things that will help you is to have a good support circle, to have friends you can discuss with, talk to, and they will kind of come together and help you build what you would want to build, right? So definitely have people who are rooting for you around you. Spent a bunch of minutes in the project slide. So quick tips and tricks to navigate in the Web3 space with respect to the opportunities that you have, right? Always start with group work. It has personally helped me. I mean, you might be an individual contributor, that is completely fine, but you can still be an individual contributor in a group, right? So the moment you have 2 more people, 1 more person working with you, it becomes quite easy and seamless to kind of discuss and carry on that journey, right? So try to create groups with people you have common interests with, discuss with them a couple of ideas and kind of take it from there, right? And second thing is you can join various public forums to garner support while you're discussing your idea, right? So you may discuss your idea in Twitter or like Discord groups or Telegram groups. Don't think that people just steal your idea and build something, right? That's not the Web3 ethos I have seen. If you have an idea and you feel like you can build it, you want to build it, people will come around to support you, right? So always try and discuss your ideas. You will also get feedback whether that is required, not required, etc., right? And don't hesitate to dive right in. Everyone in this space, even if they have 10 years of experience, is still a beginner because the space itself is growing. So if you are also a beginner, you have a lot of time and you have a lot of resources to learn as well. So if you want to do something, just dive right in, right? Could be small tasks, but you can do it. You need to just start. Again, gentle reminder that Web3 is for everyone, right? It's not exclusive to developers, designers, or something like that. Everybody who wants to get into Web3, who wants to explore the opportunities, it's for everyone. It's open. The community is very welcoming, and I would definitely encourage you all to take the leap of faith. Now, how can you get started? Just very quick slides that I have. There are a lot of tutorials on YouTube you can get started with based on the topic that you would be interested in, whether it's NFT, decentralized finance, if it's a particular domain, or if you're interested in development. There are lots and lots of videos on almost every topic. I almost always binge watch videos when I want to learn a concept. If you want to learn them fast, you can watch them at 1.52x, right? And most of the things you will get on the YouTube channels, right? Try to attend conferences. All the virtual conferences are free to attend, almost all, and do not require you to have a ticket. So when you attend these conferences, you may feel a little lost initially, but you can keep seeing what are the different things people are talking about, and are you able to just go network with people on chat, right? Are you able to find out what are the interesting things, what are the updates that are happening in the Web3 space, right? So conferences are really a great places to mingle with folks, network with folks, and also learn about what's the haps, right, in Web3. So, and almost all conferences have a virtual element these days, thanks to COVID. So you can definitely just log in, register, log in, and be able to attend right away. Contribute to DAOs. So this is, we'll have probably a session on DAO sometime later. So if you go to daomasters.xyz, you're able to see all the DAOs that are there, right? And when I say contribute to DAOs, Each of these DAOs may have some kind of tasks that you can perform, right? For example, this popular DAO called Rabbit Hole, right? This, you can see, it enables users to earn tokens in the process of learning how to use decentralized apps and crypto protocols, right? So you can learn and earn, right? The whole point of um, this DAO is for you to learn different things and be able to earn through that, right? So, like this, there are multiple DAOs serving multiple purposes, and all of these DAOs allow you to contribute, right? So, you could write content, you could say that I'm going to manage community, you could say I'll help in fundraising, or I'll help in spreading the word, or I'm interested in taking a particular bounty which is tech specific. You are allowed, you will be able to contribute to all of these DAOs, right? Almost all of them. So you can definitely check out these DAOs and start contributing to them with small tasks, right? So that will give you the confidence of, and also give you the ability to learn. Most importantly, ask what you need, right? If you don't understand something, if you don't know where to go from a particular place, if you don't know how certain things work, you need to ask. Without asking, you will not get. Simple. Same funda in web 2 as well, but in web 3 people are much more open to answering the questions, because as I said, everyone's a beginner, right? So ask what you need, ask in the forums, things you don't understand, you don't know where to start, you don't know how to do this, you don't know how to do that. Ask a lot of questions, right? And people may not have all the answers, but definitely they will be able to help you out to some extent. Alrighty. So I want to close the session with a quick activity today, that is where you can set up your own MetaMask wallet, right? So what is the meaning of a wallet and how does it work? So if you were able to attend my yesterday's session, I mentioned that a blockchain network, right, is nothing but like a network of computers, right? And you can be a part of that network, you can transact on that network by creating an account for yourself, right? Now, similar to how you store your money in banks, you have an account in web3 as well. Now these accounts are a part of something called a wallet, right? So a wallet is where you would store your cryptocurrency, right? And now these blockchain networks, now I said that you will be creating accounts, right, to transact on the network. But what if you want to test your applications? What if you want to test that things are working fine, right? You have built something and you want to test how it works. That's where the entire blockchain network, right, gives you the ability to test your same application on something called as a test net. So you have two networks, and you have other things as well in different protocols. You'll have beta network, dev network, and all those things. But you need to know two main things. One is the test network and one is the main net. Okay. Mainnet is where you can keep your tokens which are having some value, right? So for example, a couple of you will win the ocean bounty, right? I'm assuming that I'm going to get more submissions, but some of you will win the ocean bounty. So where will you store the ocean tokens? You will need a wallet to store it, right? And each of these wallets have accounts. So for example, when you create a wallet, it will automatically create one account for you. And these accounts will have an address, right? For example, on my screen, you can see that this is a test network for which there is an account. And there is a hexadecimal address, right? This address is like your public key. That means this is your account number, which can be public, right? So when you say that, when one of you wins the ocean, two, three of you in the ocean protocol bounty, I will ask you, please give me a public address to which I can send the tokens, right? So that will be your this address. Apart from that, your wallet will have something called as a private key, which is your password, right? So think of your bank account is locked with a password, and that's nothing but your private key, right? So you should never ever give your private key to anyone, and store your private key very, very safely, either on your on any software based medium. So it could be your laptop or it could be your G drive. Actually, none of these are highly recommended. What is recommended to store it in a hardware wallet, but hardware wallets are expensive and not everyone can afford it. So ensure that basically your private key is everything, right? If somebody steals your private key, they can steal your funds. However, in testnet, when you have funds, it does not matter so much because these are test funds. These are not real funds that you can convert into fiat and spend it. Whereas the funds on your main network are going to be real funds that you can convert into fiat and spend it, right? So the first activity, or rather the first thing that I would ask, would request everyone is to set up a MetaMask extension. So this is a Chrome extension. I think there are extensions for Mozilla and stuff. So this is basically a very popular wallet in which you can store your cryptocurrencies, right? So you can download this wallet, and once you downloaded it, it will come onto your I have a lot of extensions, but basically it will come onto your browser plugin and you will see this fox symbol, right? When you are downloading this wallet, it will ask you to set up the wallet, right? So let me try and share my screen, and maybe I will try to set up on another window. So which okay, so I think I will remove this and I will set up something like, so I have profile, so I need to just sign out. Okay, this one is already installed. So okay, no worries. So if you get this, if you have reached till here, you should be able to find an install button. Once you install, it is fairly easy. It is going to ask you to create an account, right? And it gives you a mnemonic, MNE. Wait, mnemonic. Okay, so it will give you a mnemonic, which is a series of words, right? So what happens is, because the private key is a very long string, it gives you a set of small English words that you're able to remember, right? So that set of words that you get while creating your new account is nothing but your mnemonic, and that is your password, right? So you have to store your mnemonic in a very, very safe place so that you don't lose that, and whenever you want to recover your account, right, you can use that mnemonic. Now once you have that copied that mnemonic and saved it somewhere safe, it MetaMask will ask you to verify that mnemonic by asking you to type all the addresses in the correct order. Once you have verified, you would have created an account, right? Once you have created an account, you will first get only the mainnet, right? So you will get something like this, Ethereum mainnet, right? So you will see the mainnet and you will see that there is an account address that you have, and you will see initially that you have 0 ETH, right? So I have my testnet already enabled, but if you don't have your test network enabled, you can go to this circle, you can go to settings, and in your settings you can enable, it will ask you, should I enable the test networks, right? I have already enabled it. So you can enable that and you will be able to see all these different types of test networks, this colored ones: Robston, Coven, Rinkaby, Goerli, and your local host. Now you can click on Rinkaby, right? And you will see that you will get an address over here, right? What we are going to do in this task is we are going to add some amount of ether, that is test ether, into our Rinkaby account that we just created. So to do that, you can copy this and then you can just check for faucet Rinkaby. Actually, I'm going to give you the faucet link, right? So here is a faucet link to Rinkeby. And in order to obtain test ethers, right, it asks you for a task, right? So the task that you need to do is you need to tweet with your Ethereum address or the account address that you have got, right? Now, let me paste it. So if you paste this over here, right, and click on tweet. No, okay, it still doesn't. So this process was brought into picture because a lot of people will misuse the faucet and keep taking a lot of funds. So it will ask you to tweet, and it will ask you to tweet that okay, so you have to say, I think they had some text already. Okay, so you can just say requesting funds into my test account address like this. Okay, so you can tweet, and then you need to copy this Twitter link and paste it in your faucet. And you can say, give me ether. Okay, so this will take some time because there you can see that there is a queue. But if you folks have created your accounts already, just drop in your account addresses and I will send you some test ether, right? So this is one of the first steps, and oops, and a very important one for you to get started, because anything that you do on the chain, right, it's not just about the like you want to transact or you want to buy stuff, or it's not just about that. You anything that you do on chain, for example, any transactions that you do on the chain, whether you want to interact with a particular app, whether you want to see how particular test ecosystems work, for everything you need the at least you need to set up the test ether. Now, whenever you make transactions with the blockchain is doing the compute for you, right? So you need to pay the blockchain some amount of fees called transactions fees to transact on that particular blockchain, right? So you need some ether for that. If you're transacting on mainnet, you need main ether. I mean, you need ether, which you need to buy and hold it in your wallet. If you're transacting on the testnet, you would need some test ether, which you can hold in your wallet and interact with different applications, right? So very important to get this set up. And I would request all of you to set up your MetaMask accounts as soon as you can, right? And just set up your testnet, that is enough. Once you decide to go more deeper, you can earn some ether through some different bounties, or if you are into investment, you can always buy. Now, some of the do's and don'ts, like I said, never share your private key. Always keep two separate MetaMask wallets on two different browsers. One which you can use for hackathons. So sometimes in the hackathons, you'll have to plug in your private key so that you can make certain calls and all. So ensure that you are never holding original funds in that particular MetaMask wallet, right, which you're using for hackathon. And beware of scam links. You will be getting sometimes scam links on Telegram, on Discord, or any other social media app, which will, when you click that link, it will ask you to connect with your MetaMask. Never connect, right? Always reject. So beware of scam links which ask you to connect with your MetaMask wallet, and just you can reject that transaction, right? So it will not go through. Last but not the least, these are some of the social media apps where you can find a lot of information. Like Discord is a popular community is a popular app where you can find a lot of different communities. So you can join the Discord channels of different communities and start interacting there. Telegram is quite popular for smaller groups, for information, like providing more information, like broadcasting information. So you will find a lot of information on Telegram as well. We have our Phoenix Guild on Telegram, so requesting all of you to join that. And Twitter, right? Twitter is like a wealth of information. I would request you to create accounts on all of these portals if you can, right? You don't have to be active everywhere all the time, but definitely it's good to be in the know-how, right? On Twitter, you can follow folks who talk about Web3, who provide important information. You can find a lot of bounties on Twitter. You can find a lot of grant information on Twitter. You can find like how you can contribute to particular DAOs and all of this info on Twitter. So these are the three information portals that I would suggest to be a part of. So you can get, all the updated information as soon as you can. What next? If you haven't joined our Telegram group, join our Telegram group. You can follow us on Twitter. And of course, like I said, don't wait to start. Start learning and earning. We have a hackathon coming up, which is the Ocean India Hackathon. So there are a lot of bounties for that as well. So you can definitely join that. And it is not just not just for developers, as I mentioned, right? I think there was a hackathon link was shared. There is a session happening on Wednesday for all the participants who are interested in the hackathon. So you can definitely join that session as well, and speak to folks. Last but not the least, we are super thankful to Ocean Protocol for helping us kickstart this initiative. Definitely, we have lots and lots more in store for the Phoenix Guild, and super thankful to everybody who was able to join this session as well. I'm going to now quickly take a look at the questions where I will see what I can. All right. Yes, the session is being recorded this time. For Is it open source? Or this was in question, but I'm not sure related to what. When you get bounties, do we need to pay taxes? Yes, so it depends from country to country. For example, in based out of India, we don't have clear regulations on how to go about that. So we generally follow I generally follow uh, the 1 lakh savings kind of rule. So if you are only converting your fiat up to 1 lakh, then you don't have to pay taxes or you don't have to declare. But then again, it totally depends on the regulations in your country. Most of these money earned through bounties, ambassador programs, all of this could be kind of like gifts that you receive, right? For example, if you win in a hackathon, it is counted under gift tax. So you can show under that mostly if you're based out of India. For other countries, I think you'll have to look up the regulations, right? Okay. Are there any scope for VoIP protocols on blockchain? I'm not really sure. I don't have that much expertise in VoIP, but I can definitely check that out. And maybe if there are any experts in that field, I can definitely connect and let you know. Are there any deadlines by which we should finish the Ocean Academy modules for the ambassador program? Honestly, there aren't. I did not see any deadlines, but I think they are accepting the ambassadors in batches. So I did my certification last week, and I got I did my certification last to last week, and I got the email on Monday. So I think program is yet to kickstart and stuff. So they are doing some restructuring. So I don't think there's a deadline, but I would assume that, see, the thing about ambassador programs, right? They once they start seeing that too many people are starting to apply, they will start making the rules and regulations more and more strict, right? So you don't want to be in that position where you have to do more than one task to get into the ambassador program. So right now it's just about going through the entire academy, getting a certificate, and then just getting into the program, right? Maybe going forward it will become more difficult, that you should have worked on Ocean Protocol, you should show some proof of concept. So that's why I encourage people to get in early. so you don't have to work too much, right? And yeah, hackathons are not just for developers, it's for everyone. One of the good questions is, what's the best place to discuss our ideas and find quality people? So the thing is, I would say like quality people is like very, it's a very relative term, because everybody has different kinds of skill sets, right? um, One of the places like I have seen, of course, are like you can find a lot of good discussions happening on Reddit. I don't have that much bandwidth to dedicate to Reddit, so I don't even go there. But if you are the kind who likes to get more information and contribute, I would definitely recommend checking out Reddit. And Twitter, these days Twitter, I would say, like, just start a like a conversation, ask a question, tag couple of folks, people would definitely respond. And if it aligns with what you're looking for, then you have your people over there, right? I would say like you need to be very clear on what kind of skill sets you're looking for, right? And what you can contribute to the group and what you are looking for from the group, be very clear about that. And that will help you find the right kind of people. It could be within your smaller groups in Telegram, it could be within your organization groups, in fact, right? You can make teams with people who are working in your own org, because you spend a lot of time with them, right? So that's a great way to get connected to folks. So definitely I would say joining those protocol channels in Discord and starting a conversation there, you will always get interested people. Second is some Telegram groups which are specifically meant for developers. Don't join every Telegram group, because most of the Telegram groups are about price discussion and stuff like that, right? So join Telegram groups which are more about projects, which are more about communities. And third thing that I have seen is hackathon groups, right? Hackathons that have happened, mostly they will form some groups on Discord or Telegram, like that. Now in these hackathons, even after the hackathon is over, the group will continue to exist. There you will definitely find people who are willing to collaborate and who are willing to contribute and work on certain projects, because they joined the hackathon because they wanted to collaborate, right? So if you have any opportunities and you want to discuss your ideas, definitely these older archived hackathon groups are like a rare find, right? So you can go for that. Will there be any DAOs for healthcare specific stuff, like adopting blockchain in healthcare sector? Yes, I know a couple of people who are working on healthcare related projects. I'm not getting their names right off top of my head, but there are definitely DAOs that you can find DAOs for almost every topic that you can think of under the sun. There are DAOs, right? And another thing that I know of is that even in Ocean Protocol, there is a project that is working with medical data sets. So if you're interested, and I think it's a female led project, I'm not sure, I will try to connect you with that project. I remember seeing that in one of the calls. So if you're interested and you have expertise or you want to get expertise in that domain, I'm happy to connect. Is there Yeah, is Ocean Protocol open source, and what about its implementation? Yes, as far as I know, Ocean Protocol is open source. The contracts and everything, you can go and see the contracts and you can read about them. Uh, but I'm not exactly aware of their implementation. It's been a long time since I've touched anything related to data science. So I would need to, all I have is the knowledge that I gained after doing the academy. So I would be happy to add you to the Ocean Protocol Discord group, and you can definitely get to know more about that. Can I apply for grants parallelly for multiple protocols for the same idea? Yes, you definitely can. You can. You can apply, you can build the same product on multiple chains, and you can apply for multiple grants for the same idea. Yes, you can do that. And in fact, if you plan to make something which is multi-chain, I definitely encourage you to do that, especially protocols which are all EVM based, like because the work that you will be required to do will be similar for all of these protocols. So you can definitely apply for grants and you can take it forward. All right, I think we are right on time, still 4 minutes late, but yeah, thanks everyone for joining today. Is there a link to yesterday's recording? Yes. Yes. Yesterday's recording, we missed the first 10 minutes, but the rest of it is posted on Telegram. You can find the recording on our Telegram. If you have not joined our Telegram, please do join, and you will find that we are going to have a bunch of bounties and a lot of grant opportunities coming up. And I'm happy to help you if you are you want to write a proposal, you have an idea that you want to discuss, and or you are looking for opportunities that match your skill set, right? So I'll see you all on the Telegram channel, and thanks everyone for joining. Okay, awesome. Yeah, we have a recording for today's meeting for sure. I'll be